Savannah, can take it over Long Beach or Vancouver for that matter. And so it's only by working together that we're going to be able to add value-added services that will force the cargo through the Port of New Orleans. And I think Gary's deep understanding of that has set us in that direction. So Gary, others are going to speak loudly about your accomplishments. I think most of us know what you've done, and I congratulate you, and congratulations again on this honor. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike, for those fine remarks. And now we have a special guest with us today, and I would like to introduce him. And he's going to make some remarks to us. U.S. Senator David Vitter is a bold, conservative reformer who is working to solve the most significant problems facing our state and our nation with Louisiana common sense. He has been a strong advocate for Louisiana, our ports, harbors, and waterways throughout his time in the Senate, serving on committees and subcommittees that deal with transportation, infrastructure, clean air, water quality, armed services, and small business and entrepreneurship. Senator Vitter was first elected to the U.S. House of Representatives in 1999. He was elected to his first term in the Senate in 2004 and overwhelmingly reelected in 2010. David and his wife, Wendy, have 4 children and live in Metairie, in the area that I live in. So let's welcome our good Senator David Vitter, who's going to make some remarks to us. David? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bobby and Michael and Valerie and all of you for the invitation to be here. It's a real honor for me to join in this celebration upon the award, very prestigious award to Gary. And Gary, I'm really honored to be a small part of this. It just so happens that my service in Congress pretty much overlapped Gary's service as head of this port. He came about 2 years after I went to Congress. So from that role, I really got to see firsthand, working on a lot of issues together, see his leadership and see his vision firsthand. And it's absolutely as steadfast, absolutely as constant, and absolutely as visionary and impressive as everyone, Michael, Valerie, others have said. First of all, as Valerie underscored, just to survive to today was an accomplishment given everything this port and this community has been through, most notably Katrina. And Gary got the port and the whole maritime community through that event, through other challenges, through economic challenges and new competition from all quarters in a very capable way. But he didn't just stand still. He didn't just get the port through those events. He didn't just survive. He really brought a true vision to his job to upgrade what we have here in New Orleans as a port city. Now, we have a great port maritime tradition, obviously, one that goes back hundreds of years. So it slightly predates Gary, that means. But so he inherited a great base. But really, when you think about it, it was a very traditional bulk port, traditionally bringing in a lot of base cargo and products, coffee and rubber and steel and historically bananas and all sorts of things. What we have today is far different, far more updated, and far more diversified. First of all, we have container business, which we had zero bit of when I was a kid, unknown to the Port of New Orleans, a booming and growing container business. We have a cruise ship business. It's a wonderful cruise port that's very attractive to the cruise companies. The only thing limiting us is the space we can devote to cruise ships, because every space we develop will be gobbled up in a minute because the port and the city are attractive for cruise ships. We have new technology, in many cases cutting-edge technology, integrated into the ports, used for all sorts of things, including, unfortunately, the demands of security post 9/11. And as Michael alluded to, we have a mentality at the port that says we're not just the place where cargo is transferred from water to shore, but we're an economic development engine. We're an entity, a tool that can put together people and assets and visions as a real economic development catalyst for the whole Southeast Louisiana region. That's far different, far more multifaceted, far more visionary than the old Port of New Orleans that, in many ways, Gary inherited. So, Gary, I certainly echo everyone's comments about how deserving you are of this award. And the only thing I would add to make that point is this award, as you know, has quite a history and quite a background. And if everybody just glances at the past recipients on the program, that is perhaps as big a testament and pat on the back as any to Gary to join that number. Many in the room, congratulations and thank you to those folks as well. But the history of this award is quite stellar. Certainly Gary joining those ranks will continue to grow that history, make us proud even more. Gary, congratulations.
Thanks so much, Senator Vitter, for those fine remarks. We appreciate your work. And now for the main event in our gathering today, I want to call on Captain A.J. Gibbs, who will come and introduce our honoree and make the presentation. And Captain A.J. is president of, as we've said before, Crescent River Pilots, Port Pilots Association. A.J., thank you. Captain Gibbs, thank you.
Good morning to everyone. Leadership can be defined as having the vision and the courage to bring a group of people to a place where they may not be sure that they want to go until they get there. C. Alvin Bertel was such a leader. True leadership can only be declared when tested. And this year's recipient of the C. Alvin Bertel Award, Gary LaGrange, has been tested time and time again. From when he arrived at the port immediately after 9/11 and the changes it brought to Homeland Security and to the Carnival Conquest Highline controversy, to Hurricanes Katrina, Rita, Ivan, Gustav, and as of late Isaac, to river closures and the challenges of delivering the NOCS facility to its new home at Henry Clay Avenue, to the challenges of growing container throughput at the Port of New Orleans. On all accounts, he delivered. Container throughput at the port has increased to its highest level ever, thanks to his leadership. NOCS is in its new home in Henry Clay, and the cruise passenger traffic has returned to pre-Katrina levels. Gary has collaborated with other port authorities and governmental agencies in the region for the benefit of all port stakeholders and the growth of jobs in the region and state economies. He has worked hand in hand with the pilots who serve the largest port complex in the world. He grew up in Franklin, Louisiana, played football and baseball, and played the trombone. He graduated from the University of Southwestern Louisiana and began his port career at the Port of West St. Mary, then the Port of South Louisiana, the Port of Gulfport, and finally his dream job, CEO and President of the Port of New Orleans. He's been a dedicated servant of the port and is always a pleasure to be around, with a quick wit and a jovial sense of humor. He has an insatiable passion for the Port of New Orleans and a perpetual energy to advance its prosperity. May I introduce to you a man that needs no introduction, the 2012 C. Alvin Bertel Award recipient, and my friend, Gary LaGrange. Just for clarity, this is a replica of the large silver bowl that you see here, which is now full of names. So now we go to the plaque, where you see the names are added in the plaque from Gene Shriver and myself, and then Gary will be added there, but he has a small replica of it for his own personal pride. Thank you, Gary.
What can you say? Thank you all very much. This is quite a humbling moment, I can tell you. I think in priority fashion, I'd like to first begin with thanking Jack and your family, your grandfather, and all of your family that's here and present today. What a momentous occasion, and what a great challenge to follow in the footsteps. Job well done. I think it's also fitting, as I tell my staff all the time, that we put things in their order, that we thank first the good Lord, then we thank our family. You've met my daughter, Caroline. Son could not be here. How many years? 17 years serving our country. Commissioners, what can I say? Past and present. Wow. Every commissioner totally independent, individual unto themselves. An element of transparency, second to none in this great state of Louisiana, serving well with integrity, pride, and dedication. The people that really make it happen, and I accept this award on their behalf, the staff of the Port of New Orleans. Stand up, all of you, and please take a bow. Port of New Orleans staff members. Michael, thank you for the kind words, Valerie and AJ and Senator Vitter. But I got to tell you, it's these people who are down in the trenches day to day and understand what it means for the customer to have a listening ear. My dad had furniture stores and appliance stores. And if there's anything I learned from the retail side of business, son, the customer is always right. The customer is always right. Now, Mike, you forget I said that, okay? Our business patrons, thank you. The people out there from the ILA, the terminal operators, the truck drivers, Public Belt Railroad, everybody that brings it all together. Our elected officials, in addition to Senator Vitter, for making it happen. The 11 nominating organizations, including some of the finest ports, other than the Port of New Orleans, that you find anywhere in the country. Plaquemine, St. Bernard, Bobby, South Louisiana, Judge Chasson, Baton Rouge. Those 5 ports are 5 of the biggest ports, along with Lake Charles on the Calcasieu, 5 of the biggest ports out of the top 14 ports in this country. And finally, the World Trade Center for bringing this all together, Bobby and Dominique, for really making it happen, and making it happen every year so that we have good people that remain viable in the industry to be recognized for whatever their accomplishments may be. And let me not overlook the hotel staff. How about a round of applause for the hotel staff? You know, I look at the list, as the good senator just alluded to, of the past recipients of this honor, and it's like a who's list. And I laughed last night when I looked at it. I mean, I felt so totally out of place. Senator John Breaux, Governor John McKithen, and the list goes on and on and on, Captain A.J. Gibbs, Billy App, and now you get down to the bottom of the list and people are going to say, Gary Houdet? You know, I'm a big baseball fan. I think a lot of you know that. Casey Stengel, when he used to take the Yankees to the World Series, spring training every year, and the rookies would all show up, Casey would always say, stand up alphabetically according to your height. Now, I want you all to do me a favor. I know you had the opportunity earlier, but stand up alphabetically according to your height and meet the people at the next table over from you right now. You got 2 minutes. Shake hands. Get up, go shake hands. Let's do this. Come on. That's what this is all about. Meet somebody. Hey, whatever that is. Like your hair. Okay, time's up. Sit down again. Hey, I didn't say to leave. Somebody just left. All right, everybody, please, we'll get on. I'll be real quick. I promised David Schulenkamp I would not be lengthy today. Yesterday, I have to share a tale with you. I was at the doctor's office, and while I was in the doctor's office, I overheard the nurse tell the doctor, "Doctor, there's a man in the waiting room who thinks he's invisible." And the doctor said, "Okay, tell him I can't see him today." I see you. I see all of you. I see you out there networking and shaking hands as you just did and as you did before this event today. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of each and every one of you. You're the fabric of the economy of the state of Louisiana. You are the economic engine of the state of Louisiana. And I can't be proud enough of you, my extended family, for all that you do. And I want you always to know that the door is open. I was going to give an 11-year overview very quickly, but it's sort of been given already. 9/11. I don't think anybody mentioned, David, the Section 201 steel embargo. We all remember that back in 2001, 2002, and 2003. That lasted for 18 months. Out of all these adversities, some good things came. In the case of 9/11, evolved Homeland Security, which thank God we have in this trying times of ours today. Out of Section 201, steel embargo became a very vigorous and diversified port, such that it never was before. Out of Katrina, we became a better port. We became a better city. Lessons were learned, and we all became better people. Gustav, ditto. Out of the 2008 oil spill, I see Captain Pasquitz here, former recipient. We all learned many lessons then. Improved navigation skills, methods for handling spills of that nature. 2010, the BP oil spill, Captain Stanton, we learned about moving decontamination and about allaying all the fears of our customers down at Carnival Cruise Lines for their pristine white ships coming into a tainted port filled with oil in its river. By providing those moving contamination points, we're able to allay all the fears of the Mexican government and of Carnival Cruise Lines. 2010, I just said that one. 2011, the high waters. What we learned about the high waters is the need to implement the Harbor Maintenance Trust Fund. And Senator Vitter's working very diligently with the rest of the delegation on that. And to realize the full amount of $1.5 billion a year collected in ad valorem taxes on imports, and to put it where it rightfully belongs since the law was passed in 1986, dredging the ports and harbors of the United States of America. 30% of our ports in America are under-dredged and are not at project depth today. Yet, I think somebody was quoted a year or so back that we need to and we will double exports in the next 5 years. How in the world are you going to do that without a means to get to the ports of the United States and a means to get out of the ports of the United States? 2012, the drought. The jury's still out on the drought right now. We're still trying to assemble and amass the consequences of that. We're going to have the Senate Agriculture Appropriations people in here in a couple of weeks. And finally, Isaac, again, we learned that the surge gates work. You know, recently I heard, just yesterday in fact, that Roger Goodell went to see a psychiatrist. His psychiatrist told him that he's schizophrenic. And he said immediately, I want a second opinion. He said, okay, you're an idiot too. Be careful what you ask for. I talked to the senator again just now, and we're working on, with the dock board, a public-private partnership. Almost every other day we meet with people who are sometimes representing quite nicely and sometimes posing to be a public-private partnership entity. We're in a position where we have to look at things to develop the last phase of the container terminal at the Port of New Orleans, a $250 to $300 million venture that can only be done, in my opinion, with private money. We're not going to find that kind of money in Washington. The senator will tell you that. And we're not going to find it in Baton Rouge either. So be careful what you ask for. There's another saying that I really, really like when we think about where these private funds may come from. The government that robs Peter to pay Paul can always count on Paul. We need to meet Paul. We need to find out where Paul's at. In spite of all the things that were said here today, my job's the easiest job in the world. All it takes is money. If Paul's got the money, somebody please give me his email address. We need to meet. I'll close by just simply saying, you know, there are bus stations. At bus stations, buses stop. There are train stations. At train stations, trains stop. How many of you know somebody out there that has on their desk a workstation? Think about it. I guarantee you that work doesn't stop on the desk of the people in this industry. They certainly don't at the Port of New Orleans, and I know that they don't in the private enterprise side. I see Captain Gautier out there, our dear friend, who was a real hero along with the pilots and the Corps of Engineers on these conference calls that were held diligently over a 5-day period to get the river back open again as soon as possible. They don't have workstations with work that stops on their desk. I can vouch for that. Or any of the other entities I just mentioned. Finally, I'll close with a quote. It's by Confucius, of all people. Choose a job you love, and you'd never have to work a day in your life. Thank you. God bless you all, and God bless America.
Thank you, Gary, for those wonderful remarks, and you certainly have a room full of folks here that love and appreciate you and all that you do for this wonderful area that has this marvelous river flowing down it. Thank you so much. And now I would like to invite to the podium Natalie Mitchell, who is Director of Special Projects in Councilwoman Jackie Clarkson's office, who has a special proclamation for our honoree today. Natalie?
Hello, thank you all for having me. On behalf of the New Orleans City Council and Councilmember Jackie Clarkson, who couldn't make it today because she's at a Super Bowl committee meeting, she apologizes for that. She'd love to be here. On behalf of the New Orleans City Council, I'd like to present the following proclamation. to Mr. LaGrange. Whereas the city of New Orleans is renowned for its food, festivals, famous citizens, and foreign visitors, and whereas the city council takes great pride in paying tribute to events and activities, now therefore be it proclaimed by the city of New Orleans that the council recognizes Gary P. LaGrange, 2012 C. Alvin Bertel Awards recipient. Congratulations and thank you for your outstanding contribution to the advancement of the Greater New Orleans Port area. In the name of and by the authority vested in the Council of the City of New Orleans. Congratulations, Mr. LaGrange.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Can you pronounce my name correctly? Thank you. Thank all of you.
Thanks, Natalie. And now, this concludes our luncheon and honoring here today, and I want to thank you so much for being here. This certainly is a wonderful crowd, and to be here today to honor such a deserving person as Gary LaGrange. And I want to thank you so much for being here, and we are now adjourned. Thank you.
Get that award.